Hell yeah.
Hey, everybody. This is Peter Palmiotti of Human Art Studio, and this is Making Comics and Art, episode 250. Oh my God. We made it this far.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's a lot.
Yeah. Thanks. I've done, God, it's almost 800, getting close to 800 episodes, or not episodes, like videos up on YouTube. Yeah. And a lot of different things. A lot of, I tried to bring up more of a focus with making comics and art, since that's mostly what I talk about. Yeah. It's 250 at this point in time. I will mention coming up, very special event on Saturday. Me and Mark Torres are going to go live on Kickstarter. So starting at 11, we'll probably go live around 12. We'll be streaming for 2 hours, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes well. Later that day, we'll be on Global Frequency, and then even later in the evening, we'll be on Marsh Makes Comics.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and it's going to be a crazy month. Next month, we got 20 or 30 streams hooked up already. I'm sure there'll be more. This piece, since it's 250, I figured, hey, it's been a while since I did something retro related. So this is actually a friend of mine, Gaz Gretzky, penciled this for me. It was actually on his campaign for Horror A4, one of the perks, get a commission pencil by him. So I said, hey, do my character retro. So he penciled it, and I'm going to use this for the back cover image. Nice. There'll be a couple of quotes, but this art, and I'll color it, or I'll get somebody else to color it, but I'm definitely going to ink it tonight. Just really quick. I got somebody in the chat, but I want to mention, I put the link to Joe's campaign, Reaper Destroyer on IGG, and you can go hit that link, go check out his campaign, which we'll be going to in a second, and see what that's all about, and grab a couple of issues. It's funny. I just realized, when I pledged for the black and white copy of your book.
Oh, yeah.
Like, while I definitely want that, I also want the color version. So I have to wait till I have money again and get the color version.
Yeah, I always want to make sure that I put a line art version of the book on there, because I'm a huge fan of just black and white versions of the book, or just even pencil versions of the book. I like the various levels that you can get. And I was like, if you're going to put out a book that's got all that beautiful color in it, I'm working with some fantastic guys on inks, as you know, with Bat and Joe Weems. So I really wanted to have a version of the book out there where you could just see the clear, clean, crisp black and white lines that those guys do on the book. So it was important for me to get that copy out. So I'm glad you got it. Because I think it's going to look. And the other thing about that book too is, I don't know if people understand, it's going to be kind of like a treasury edition, not so much in like size treasury, but instead of it just being a black and white edition, kind of like the ash can that I put out, it's going to be just the scanned pages with the script. So you're going to be able to see the blue line of the comic book paper. If I've got notes in there that are still in there from when I scanned them in and sent them, or scanned them in and mailed them off to the guys to ink, you'll be able to see notes going back and forth and all that kind of stuff. So just a very behind the scenes look at that book in general with the script. So I think it would be unlike any other black and white edition you've seen in crowdfunding, as far as I know. So I'm trying to make it as unique as possible. So not just black and white, but like an artist edition of the book itself. Plus maybe some extra bells and whistles in the back as well.
Are you using special paper? Did you get hands on image paper or something? Or
oh, I wish. You know what? It's funny. I've talked to a couple people. I've talked to Art T. Bear, who said he was going to send me some paper. Hasn't done it yet.
Right.
I got to get back on him about it because my dream since I was a kid was to draw on that Image paper. You know, like I was a huge fan of Image comics. You know, like that's not a secret. If anybody follows my channel and you hear me talk, like that was my stuff when I was a kid was Image comics. I loved Marvel, like DC, but Image comics was what brought me to the table. And I always wanted to work there when I was a kid. I wanted to work in one of the studios or multiple studios or whatever. And it was that paper, that legendary paper. Everybody talked about that paper. You know, like it was just the best paper to draw on. And it has been my dream for forever to draw on that paper. And lo and behold, I know a few guys that have a shit ton of it. You got Dan Frega, who's got like a ton of it. And then you got Art T-Bear has got a bunch of it. And I think Frega sent Dale Keown a bunch as well. So it's out there. And I'm just trying to weasel my way in somewhere to work on that paper and maybe draw a cover on it or whatever. But I just want to do something on that paper and just experience it, you know, for the first time.
Yeah, I heard like the pounds of it are like, you know, it's the heaviest paper out there, but it's really good, and heard good things. I'm you know, now that I think about it, I'm not sure, but I might have worked on something that was on Image paper. I don't know.
Yeah.
Too many years, Joe. Too many years.
I understand. You know what? It's, you know, like I don't know what you like as far as paper, but now we're getting into some really nerdy talk. But when it comes to Bristol board, like I like the really smooth, the ultra smooth paper to draw on. I don't like boards that have a lot of teeth, because I just don't think my pencil flows as smoothly as it does with the smooth board. So primarily what I use right now is the Strathmore 300 series, and I also have a bunch of the Eon plate ultra smooth boards that I'll do stuff on. But Joe Weems and Bat, who ink over my original pencils, Weems specifically likes doing the 300 series. So I kind of switched up and started doing the 300 series because that was his preferred paper to ink on. I was like, no big deal. I like Strathmore quite a bit. My favorite board to draw on is probably the Eon board. Like I really like those boards a lot. They just have a really nice feel to them. Second being the Strathmore 300, and so on and so forth. But I didn't know. I mean, do you like stuff that's got a lot of teeth in it, or do you like the smooth paper like I do?
I like a little tooth, not ultra smooth. I use, you know, like I'm printing out a lot of digital pencils now, so I use Canson.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I really like Canson. I've tried Eon once. For some reason, I didn't click with it. So, but you know, it's like I know a lot of people that love it. You know, I used regular Strathmore. I think I prefer Canson over everything at the moment. But I've seen people who
Canson.
I've seen people who print out their own, you know, get their own paper made.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where they're going, but like it's labeled with their studio name on top and stuff. And
well, you know what I do? That's an easy cheat that I get. So, Strathmore 300 series comes blank. Now all I do is I've got a scan of the 200 series that has the blue line on it, and I just put that into my Photoshop, and I just put you know, I change all the information and put up you know, my superior press. So all you're really keeping is the border, you know, so you're not keeping anybody else's way it's set up. You just keep the border on there, and just use that, and I print out a bunch of paper, print that onto a bunch of the 300 series, and boom, you got your own custom paper. Now I know you can probably get them made through somebody, but that's just a cheap way I do it. You know, like I've got a really good printer, and all you need is the blue line, which is not that hard to put on there, and boom, you got your own paper, own custom paper that says whatever you want it to say on it. You know.
Yeah.
That's the easy cheat. Cool. That's the easy cheat.
Yeah. Just so we're not ignoring the chat, we got Lion Mill in the studio and Lion Mill studio in the chat, and we got good stuff Comic Gator in the chat.
Yo.
Welcome,
guys. What's up, guys? Good to see you all.
Yeah, it's like my schedule's been a little sporadic, so you know, the people who show up are the people who show up, but more people will watch it afterwards for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the live videos always usually get more views after it's live. I've noticed even with like our stuff on my channel or on Ott and stuff. That's one way like I I kind of really judge on how well the video does, not so necessarily the live aspect of it, because when you go live, you could be going up against anybody. You have no idea, you know, it could pull people away from viewing. But a lot of people will go back and check out shows that they didn't get a chance to see live and watch them through. And you can watch those numbers actually build up as the week goes or as days go, however long it is till the next live stream. And that's really how I kind of view and a show was successful, you know, like, because it's hit or miss, man. It's hit or miss. Like you could have a ton of people in the chat, you could have just a handful of people, but regardless, the content's getting out there. It's getting onto your channel, and people will view it later. So,
for sure, for sure. So since got you here, and let's do share out your campaign. So hopefully my internet works with me, and we go here. And here we go.
There we go.
So close to 50K.
No. Oh, do you have it up yet? I don't see it on the screen. There it is. It's so close. Yeah.
Probably a delay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I'll say this again and again. Like, this is completely exciting and humbling for me. Like, I did not expect to get these numbers in the time period that we got it. Like this, I remember telling my wife when we first were thinking about, like, well, what do you think the campaign will do? And I was like, honestly, honey, I don't know. I'm an unknown, you know, like, I'm just hoping that the campaign could possibly make, like, 20 grand or something like that. I would be happy with that. I was like, on a high note, like, if I could reach, like full campaign altogether until we end the launch book too, is like, if we get up into the 40s or 50s, that's, that would be a dream come true. And, we're basically already there with just a little over 60 days with the campaign running. So it's pretty humbling, I'll say, and pretty exciting at the same time. See all the people that came out to support this and the people that are excited about this. The book in itself was really designed to be a staple of the 90s, right? Like, I got it right there, an action sci-fi adventure that captures everything about the dark heroes of the 90s. I really wanted to keep that feel because that's what I grew up, that's what I loved. Like, that's the stuff that inspired me as a kid. And I didn't really see a lot of that in today's comics, even in the indie scene. I didn't see a lot of that kind of like Top Cow feel, the Darkness, Spawn, kind of characters. And I wanted to create a new character that could fit into that kind of mold, along with its own, universe and world to build on. And my style is very, very 90s. People have told me I've got a very 90s style. It's just, I just view it as how I draw, but people say I have a very 90s style. And of course, because I grew up loving guys like Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, and, Dale Keown, and Rob Liefeld, and Todd McFarlane, and all those guys,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really wanted to bring that kind of flavor and that feel to indie comics, to Comicsgate, to wherever. And people have come out and seem to have sparked the interest of a lot of people that were missing this kind of thing as well. So I'm glad that I'm able to connect with so many people on this kind of character design and feel. And I gotta say too, like, I've seen so many people, so many artists out there doing fan art of Reaper Destroyer, and like, that is the coolest thing. That is the coolest thing, I gotta say, as an artist and creator, that seeing your character drawn by so many people that just generally love the design of the character. Like, that's a hell of a compliment that I'm taking. Like, so thank you guys. I appreciate everybody out there for sure.
Yeah. It's like I've been impressed. I don't know you that long, like, but you put on a great show. That's first and foremost on your channel, with your buddy Sean too on art and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's that's really helped you, I believe, but the quality of the book, and I'm scrolling down now, you'll probably see it in a half hour. But,
At some point, we'll catch up with
is
you.
the
Yeah.
Dale variant cover. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Now we're in the Dale
It's
cover.
an
There we go.
amazing Dale Keown cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the
Talk
way,
about what you're doing special with that.
oh yeah. So before I get into that, just shout out to you for the awesome job you did inking this on your channel. It looks awesome. I showed Dale; he thought it was really
Thanks.
cool. Yeah. You got a shout out from Sandra Hope on it. That's cool too. She's a fantastic inker.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah. I mean, it's more and more I see like people I follow and really appreciate their work, and they're liking my stuff. I'm like, why?
Yes.
What drew you here, and why am I so lucky?
No, it's awesome, man. Well, you get out there, you put out the good work you put out. I mean, solid work. I mean, generally, I think that people like us who are peers, I guess you could say, appreciate the work of others. Like I completely get lost and excited when I see art from the guys that I follow and respect. When I see new stuff come out, because I love to see it. I love to look at it and just be like, wow, like that's just. It reminds me of the same way when I was a kid, waiting for new art to come out by the big guys in the industry at the time. Now the guys I work with, whether it's other indie guys or guys, more established gentlemen like yourself that have stuff out there. It's fun. It's fun to dive into. I just love art. I love comic book art and everything that it's about. So I can't get more than enough. I can't get enough of it. So, but yeah, before I get into the actual what this cover is, I see Lion Mill asked what printer do I have? I do have an Epson. My Epson is really is awesome. I love it. It's the 77. I can't remember.
720.
I think it's the one up from that. The 740 or 748.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's a newer one. But I did the scanning abilities, because it scans up to 11:17. It's fantastic. The quality of the scans that is great, and I like the printing of it too. So, yeah, it's an Epson though, for sure. We got Comix Mate in the house too. Hail, Comix Mate, good to see you.
Welcome.
He said, Peter is my inker of choice. If I'm not going to ink my own stuff, I always recommend Peter. Hell yeah. That's what's up. That is what's up. So yeah, with this cover, this is going to be an homage cover to Pit #1. And because if anyone knows, if you know me, Pit #1 is my all-time favorite comic, hands down. #1 above anything ever. I just love everything about it. I love Dale. Obviously, I love Joe Chiodo. It's just a fun book. So this is going to be my kind of my homage to Pit #1, and obviously I've got Dale drawing a similar kind of face shot like he does with Pit. This will be zoomed in a little bit more on this as we can. It's kind of hard with the way that Dale did his signature. I mean, digitally I could probably move it around after it's colored, but it probably won't be as extreme of a close-up as Pit #1 is. But I went out and I got Chance Wolf, who did the original logo for Pit, the splattered iconic Pit logo. He's going to mock up Reaper Destroyer and do a logo in that vein. So getting him back on the book, or getting him on the project, is cool. Being one of the original guys in that book. And I've been talking to Joe Chiodo, and he's going to throw down some awesome colors on this. And we're going to have the truest homage to Pit #1 that you could ever getting the original guys that worked on that book to do this cover. It's an absolute dream come true. And Joe Chiodo is going to color this thing by hand. I'm going to Xerox him a printout of this on his Bristol board of choice, and he's going to go over the pencils by hand and color this all up. And I'm going to get that back, and then we'll throw it in Photoshop and get it all set and make it look nice. But yeah, this is going to be as close as you could think of to a an homage, like, geez, yeah, I can't even believe it. Chance Wolf and Joe Chiodo and Dale Keown back together again on on one cover. It's like, since Pit 1, like, yeah, like, that's like, that is awesome. I'm so excited. I hope everybody else is as excited as me. Like, I basically did it for myself, and I'm hoping everybody else kind of enjoys it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing cover, and when I saw it, like I mentioned, it's like, I don't do fan inks. There's a lot of wannabe inkers and other inkers who do that. I guess I'm too busy, but it's also like,
for sure.
I saw this piece and I was like, I have to do that. It's like, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And
it's such a killer piece.
I can't wait for, like they mentioned on the show, they're doing the Pit Omnibus first.
Yeah.
Then whatever, if it's a book, a one shot, or a series, I hope it's a series. We'll see.
I think it's supposed to be an ongoing series, or if anything, it's going to be a mini series. But it's supposed to. I don't know if it's going to be issue 21,
right?
Because I talked to Phil a couple times about that, and I can't remember what he exactly said, and if he said they were going to reboot like issue 1 or just go with issue 21 and just pick up where they left off. Because the thing that I love about what Phil's doing, Phil Diaz, who is the writer of the book. What I love about what he's doing is he's not looking to do a soft reboot or reboot the character or anything like that. He wants to take all the Pit history, keep it the way it is, and then continue the story, but improve upon it. Like some of the things he saw that could have been brought out better or revisited that were never revisited, or, like all that kind of stuff. He's really gone over all 20 issues of the book and really put his story together and what they want to focus on first. But I know he's got ideas of what he wants to go with the character. And, Dale's just letting them run with it, and I'm pretty excited what they're going to do. So I have to believe that it's going to be a continuation, whether it's a new Pit 1 or not. It's like all the old continuity is going to be there. It's not going to be thrown out. So you're still going to have everything that happened in issue 1 through 20, at least, is going to be a part of this book in one way or the other. So I'm extremely excited about that. Again, Pit is my number 1 favorite character. Pit is my number 1 favorite book. Dale is my 1A favorite artist, right next to Mark Silvestri. They're 1 and 1A. Like, I can't choose between them most of the time. If you had most of the, I'd go Mark and then Dale, but Dale's not a number 2. Like, he's a 1A, so like they're right up there. So I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, I know Mark's working on something, but I think Dale's going to be, more making comics than Mark is.
Yeah. Mark, I love Mark, but I think he's accomplished everything he wants to accomplish, ever wanted to accomplish in comics, and I think he's just enjoying it. I call it a semi-retirement. Yeah, he's still drawing. He still does covers every once in a while, but I don't know if we'll ever see that Batman series that he was working on for the last 10 years or something. I don't know if that'll ever come out or not. But regardless, like, what I love about Dale is Dale seems to have a rejuvenated love for what's going on, coming over to Comicsgate. I've talked to him a couple times, and he's always done great work. He's been working for Marvel, jobs here or there. Nothing I would say like steady work, but I don't think he's had as much fun ever as he has since coming into Comicsgate. Like, he's just having an absolute blast over here. He's feeling the love, which is great. Like, a legend like him should be getting all the roses thrown at him, and he absolutely is. And you can see it in his work. You can see, like, when someone's very excited about what they do and looking to impress, you can see it in their line work. And Dale's work that he's putting out right now for everybody is just looking, top notch. Dale Keown, like, and I think putting a lot of naysayers to bed too with his work right now. Like, there's haters everywhere. There's haters of everyone out there. You're gonna find them. For whatever reason. And Dale had the reputation of being a really slow artist, or like not being able to go with a deadline. And he's putting a lot of people to shame right now with what he's putting out and the things that he's doing, because he's knocking stuff out and knocking shit out quality wise. Some of the best stuff I've seen he's doing right now, and it's just it's fun to see. It's fun to be a part of it. And like this whole community. And I'm taking the word back, community, but it's fun to see that kind of stuff happen here You know, it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be a comic book creator, hands down.
Yeah, yeah, and he's definitely working, and I love when like even he's showing off sketches during streams and stuff, and he's hilarious too. He's a
That's, you
riot.
know, I told him that. I was like, dude, you know, you never know how anybody's going to be when before you like kind of see them on stream and everything. This is kind of still fairly new to a lot of people getting on streams and kind of just being who you are in front of how many ever people see you.
Yeah.
And he came in and he just right off the bat, you know, like he just had the personality. Like for those of us that didn't know Dale and never got to meet him or anything, you know, it was cool just to see like how laid back and just fun of a dude that he is, you know, like he seems like a guy that's just happy with life. He's just excited with art, you know, like, and that's makes some of the best people in my opinion.
Right. So you should be seeing your cover.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my wraparound cover. By the way, Kyle is still working on this cover. He had to jump back on and do some Cyberfrog stuff with the launch of the Second Chance campaign. All the variant covers that Ethan's putting out, Kyle had to jump back on and hammer those out for him. So he had to take another break off the project, which is fine. You know, I mean, when I hired Kyle, like I knew that, you know, Cyberfrog was going to be the main thing, and this was when he was going to have time. And I thought that was fine to work with a talent like his. Like I don't mind it, but I'm hoping to still get this piece colored soon, so I can get this up on the campaign. And really, you know, I want people to see this cover because I think it's going to be awesome. So that's still going on. The most I've seen so far, I think, is some of the flats and some of the stuff he's working on, which, by the way, is looking beautiful. But besides that, what you're looking at right now is this cover is inked by the legendary Matt Bat Banning, who, again, some of the guys I get to work on with this project is just pinch me because I'm dreaming kind of thing. Like if you had told the 14-year-old me that sometime down the line I'd be working with the guys that I idolized in the industry on my book or have done stuff for this book, I would have just been in heaven, you know, like. To have guys like Weems and Bat ink my lines is just insane to me. And every time I get to see the work that they give back to me, it's a joy. Talking to Bat on the phone is awesome. You really get you know, diving into industry stories and things of that nature. You know, like it's so cool. But yeah, I'm extremely humbled and excited to work with the guys I'm working with. Just the talent. I mean, it's just unbelievable to this day. So. This book is going to be as high quality as I can make it, and these guys are going to take what I give them and just improve upon it, you know, 1,000-fold.
I imagine with working with such legends that, you know, it pushes you to do better.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's funny too, because so Sean, my partner in art and stuff, Sean Ahrendt, I show him everything. Like he's my right hand man. So anytime I get anything back from Bat or Weems or Kyle or whatever, he's like the first person I send the picture to. I'm like, dude, check this out. You know, like I gotta share this with somebody. The very first time I got a page back from Joe Weems, it was one of those. It was a moment, right? It was just a moment in my life where it just everything stopped, and you know, I was just so blown away by how my art looked, you know, inked by a professional. Because up to that point, I don't think I'd ever had my work inked by a professional. I take that back. Jimmy Reyes inked the cover to the Ash Can, and that was probably the best I'd seen my stuff come through. And no offense to any of the inkers I've worked with, because there's been some guys that have done some great work, but I've always had something here or there that I just kind of didn't like what they did with my lines, or, you know, like cross hatching or certain stuff of that nature, where I didn't think it was brought out the best way or represented me and my style. But guys like Weems and Bat, they take everything I do and just it's right. Like everything is right, you know, and improved upon, you know, like so. Bat is really known for a lot of his cross hatching. Bat's cross hatching is amazing, you know. So all the cross hatching I have in there is there, but it's just so much more perfect, you know what I'm saying, than what I would have thrown down. Because when I'm drawing, I mean, you know this, being an artist inker, you know, drawing is a lot different than inking. You can draw a little bit faster unless you want to do really, really tight pencils, but you can keep the energy a little bit better with drawing a little bit faster, keep the flow going, and everything's indicated the way it should be indicated. But the inker is going to come through and spend a lot more time, a lot more methodical, a lot slower, and bring everything out and make everything look like the way it should. And the cross hatching the bat will do is just, amazing. And I learned from it. I learned from seeing his work come back, and the stuff that Weems will do, I learned from the stuff that he does. Like some of the things that I might have been heavy-handed, let's say, in detail in certain places, it comes back, and some of that detail is pulled back, but it's pulled back because it was what was best for the piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I learned from stuff like that, being like, okay, all right, I get it. So I don't have to do all that in that tiny little space. It's not needed. So it's been a learning experience just working with professionals like I'm working with right now. It's almost like being in a studio, so to speak, where I get the hands-on treatment, and I can even phone these guys up or email them and be like, hey, I loved what you did here. What was the thinking behind it? And they can just give me a little bit of a lesson. Like I always say, like page 2 of the book, I really went in and did a lot of detail on the background of Reaper Destroyer, which is, let me see, this page right here for anybody that's in the audience. Did a lot of detail behind Reaper Destroyer that Joe Weems went in. He kind of pulled back on some of the detail, and the reason he did it is it made the character pop way more than it would have if he had just gone through and rendered all the little detail that I had put put behind him in the background. That was a learning experience to be like, when you're working on background, you don't want the background to overtake the main picture, the foreground, So yeah, working with these guys is absolutely a learning experience.
I thought you were holding up the page.
I was for a second, and then
I can focus on you and put it up again.
All right, hold on a second. Let me say hi to Leandro. It's in the house. Hey, Leandro. Sorry. Here's the let me bring this up again. If you got the ash can or you've seen any of this work, you know what I'm talking about. But this is let me get this here. So specifically behind his head in the background where all the bricks and stuff are, I had so much more detail packed in there. And the way he went in and just kind of took some of the detail out and made it less busy. For any of the artists out there, you probably understand that you don't want to have a lot of busy stuff that's going to distract the eye when your attention should be on the main character right there. If the background is really pulling you away from that main character, then you probably didn't do your job very well. And that's just something I kind of learned. That's something I kind of learned, that the way he inked it, and he didn't even say anything. He just inked it the way he did. And I saw it, and I was just like, dude, like I understood right off the bat when I saw it, and I was like, dude, thank you. I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I learned something today, and I hope to continue learning as I work with these guys. It can only make me better as an artist, And I've got no ego when it comes to that. I want to be the absolute best artist I can be. So I'm down for people to help me in any way possible, improve upon that.
Absolutely. So let me catch up in the chat since I missed a lot of people. Like you mentioned before, Comics Mate is here.
There you go.
We have Dirk Clay. Welcome. Who else was here? Turks X9. If I mispronounce, that's just my thing.
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it. That's what I say. So if it's wrong, I guess we're both wrong.
Yeah. Rick Sayer is here. Welcome, one and all. Appreciate all of you. And Leandro, welcome.
Party started. Consider it started, Leandro. Let's roll. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll take a shot for that. I have to take a shot every time I come down to the studio because I've explained this before. It's very stuffy down here, and I've got allergies. So every time I come down here, I get very stuffed up, and sometimes it's hard to breathe, hard to talk. And I don't think the whiskey actually really does anything to help that. It just makes me feel better. So Shots.
Yeah, I turned off my AC just before we started. It's getting a little stuffy now, but it's fine. It's like I don't love having my AC on because it drowns out all noise. I like hearing myself.
See, I'm. It's funny because unless I'm streaming, if I'm streaming, I like to be a little relatively quiet. But if I'm just like drawing or something, I need noise to like keep me focused. It's weird. Like I need to be listening to
Yeah,
music. I need something else going on that I can just get in the zone. Like that's one thing I love about drawing and creating in that sense is just letting yourself go and just going and having the music fuel you. And I could listen to any music, doesn't matter. It could be heavy metal, it could be whatever I'm in the mood to listen to. But allowing myself to just kind of get lost in the music where I'm not even really listening to the music, I'm just jamming, I'm drawing, I'm in the zone, and it's like less thinking and more instinct. I'm just drawing. Like that's what I love about it. Because if I don't, I just sit there and I tend to overthink things too much when I draw. Like every little line's like, oh, that sucks. Oh, that looks horrible. And I just get stuck, in that same spot, and I never move on. But if I get in that zone and I'm just drawing, man, I'll start to put down some beautiful stuff, and I'm absolutely excited about it. In fact, I was drawing earlier today, and I'm just jamming to I can't remember who I was listening to, but I was so in the zone. I was just focused on what I was doing. My wife came in the room, and I didn't even see her. I didn't hear her because I had my headphones on, and she was like standing right behind me for like a couple minutes. Eventually she just kind of put her hand out in front of my face and scared the hell out of me. Like I jumped because I didn't, I was like so into what I was doing. And like as soon as I looked at her, I was so angry. I was like, why'd you do that? Like she was like, well, I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, God, like turn the light on or do something next time. But like I was in the zone. In the zone, man.
Yeah. Been there. No, I definitely like to listen to stuff like podcasts or videos, all the streams we know about, and all the shows on YouTube. Definitely helps. Like for instance, like when I was inking that Dale piece, I at the time I knew that Jimmy Reyes inked it because I watched part of that stream live.
Right.
And I was like, and he does excellent work, but I was like, I could attack this differently. I think I have something in mind. And like you were saying, like you lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I definitely had an idea of what I was going to do, but I really just took a chance, something outside of my natural curve, and went with my instincts on it, and like hundreds of people have already liked it. Like it's like it's definitely something that resonated with people. So
it was great. Yeah, it was great. Let me see if I can hear. That's not it. That's not it either. Where is the one you sent to me?
Well, I got it in my drawer.
Okay, I was trying to bring up the digital version so we could zoom in on and stuff. If do you have the digital version?
Well, hey, let me show the original because it's with the red line. And I'll go.
Yeah, there you go.
Full screen. So it's actually stuff like I'm no expert on getting rid of red line, so I actually lost a little detail. But so here I put some fine lines, which on the just the black and white version, they're barely seen. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. And that's the
yeah, I did a great job, man.
The actual inks. And I was like, I felt like doing more. I just wanted to throw more lines down, but I was like, no, I just gotta stop. It's done. I think I could pull up the digital. Let me see. Oh, I gotta. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I like the way that you approached it. I know with Dale's, the way he drew it with the gray kind of gradient that he does with his art can kind of be hard to bring some of that out as an inker. But looking at what Reyes did, what you did, and I think the other guy that I saw ink this was Scotsman, who was I want to say he was he was a protege of Marlowe from one of the Extreme Studios inkers. I can never remember his first name. But all you guys approached it in a completely different way, and everybody did a great job and made it look awesome. Yeah, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, obviously, I love it because it's my cover. It's drawn by one of my heroes and stuff. But seeing the different way everybody approached the detail that Dale drew in the face is Dale's very unique with how he draws the face. Especially when it comes to like masks and stuff. Like if you saw some of the stuff he did with like the darkness, he kind of approached it the same way with Reaper Destroyer, which is something we were talking about. He was like, this character really kind of reminds me of like the darkness. He's like, I love that shit, so he went in, I think, with that kind of approach when he was drawing it, and just the different like kind of lines you see in his brow as he's making his just scowl, and then the different shading he uses in the front of his face to kind of bring up the light source. You brought it out very, very well. And it's awesome. You did a great job. It's like, love it. Cross hatching, all the cross hatching down there by the bottom of his cowl and everything of his hood. Fantastic work, man.
Yeah. I think I can share it now. Let's see. Not that. This. Let's see if this works. Nothing happened. Let's see. All right. Can't try capturing different screen. All right. Oh wait.
Yeah, everybody's loving this in the chat, by the way. Tark's nice. Says gorgeous work, Leandro. There's a bunch of clapping in this. Says this is awesome. Dirk says love it, Peter. Leandro said what's the fudge? Derek also says I listened to very moody prog. Interesting. I listen to anywhere from heavy metal to alternative punk, like Offspring. Anything that's got a really good like rhythm section in it, driving rhythm section. I can really get into a nice zone with that kind of beat and that rhythm, Pantera, Avenged Sevenfold, Offspring, Foo Fighters is another band I really enjoy listening to when I'm drawing. And then there's other stuff too. Some of the soft, I mean, shit. You could say heavy metal. I'll listen to Elton John if I'm in the mood for it. Anything that kind of just gets my mind in that zone. It also depends on what I'm drawing. If I'm drawing an action scene, it is kind of nice sometimes to have like heavy metal or more aggressive kind of music that I can get into. If I'm just drawing, it's gonna be a long day and I'm just sitting down. I'll whatever. I'll put in whatever. Marcy Playground, some music you probably wouldn't even think I would listen to. I'll put in and just enjoy what we're doing. Dirk says, yeah, the rhythm has to be there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially as a musician. Two things. I can get lost in the song because I'm a musician. So I can really, appreciate it from that point of view. And then the art just kind of takes over. You get in that really special zone that we always talk about. And it just seems like the best stuff happens when you get in that zone. Like you turn off your brain and you're just drawing. You're just drawing out of instinct, then throwing lines down, seeing what works. You're not as worried of having to erase things. And the best work I see out of myself is probably when you get in that zone. Leandro said, damn, Peter, this piece looks so organic that the bottom and that the bottom brace under the jaw frames the face perfectly. Good Lord, Dale Keown. Dale or God like Dale. Peter just compliments Dale's lines. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, I agree with that. Rick Saylor said, Peter, you killed that piece. Yeah, for sure. Tark says, I listen to a lot of Iron Maiden when I'm drinking. Yeah, I can. Oh, he's back. He's back. There he is. He has returned.
Doing anything upsets things.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But I'm back. Yes. Yeah, I see all the comments now. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes it. So I'll ask you now if you figured out what you're going to do with it.
I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm doing something with it for sure. But I want it to be something cool too. So I don't want to just take it just because it's available now to just just throw it out there for something. I want it to be something cool. Most likely it's gonna be some kind of stretch goal that we're gonna try to put it with. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm definitely taking that piece that Peter inked, and we're going to use it for something on the campaign. He was gracious enough to give us the permission to use it for what we wanted. So we're going to make sure that gets out there because I think it's a gorgeous looking piece and definitely deserves to be out there. And now I just got to figure out what we're doing, whether it's going to be a card or a print or something. But we'll let you guys know when we figure it out for sure.
Cool. I'm excited. And it's awesome to be part of your project somehow. It's like,
oh hell yeah. Dude, I'm excited with all the people that I brought onto this project to do stuff with, whether it's covers or pinups or for cards, like from Chauncey Blakey to Dan Dahl to Joe Ball. Leandro has a piece that we're doing. Clayton Barton's got a piece that he's doing.
nice.
Yeah, and I got some other guys I'm talking to that we haven't really hammered it out yet, but I'm trying to bring them on for certain things as well. So I'm trying to collect very awesome artists to do stuff for this project, and some guys that kind of have a similar style to me, and then other guys that don't, but still bring their own kind of flair to the book, and just keep that feel of Reaper Destroyer. And I want to work with everybody I can work with. I love art. These fan pieces, like we talked about earlier in the show, that I see going out all over the place. I really want to reach out to a lot of those people and do something with the fan art, because there's so much fan art now of Reaper Destroyer that I think it needs to be displayed somewhere. So I'm going to start hopefully reaching out to some of these guys that have drawn my character and seeing if I can, use their image for something. And, whether it's the back of a book and put like a sketch section together, just displaying all these pieces, kind of like the old days. The old Image would put up all the fan art and stuff like that. I don't know yet, but I want to do something for sure. Leandro said, "Make it a cover." Yeah, good. I've got a lot of covers for this book already, and I will say any cover I put out for this book automatically goes in the Destroyer tier. So if you got the Destroyer tier, if you spent that $200, or if you're thinking about spending that $200 on that tier, just know that everything that comes out in this campaign, unless it's like a completely special thing, goes in that Destroyer tier. So that you get the Dale Keown cover, my cover, Shelby's cover, you get the black and white edition, all the Virgin covers. You get the new statue that we just put out in the Destroyer tier, your color of black or gray. The full foil ash can comes in that. The other mystery book that we're gonna unveil, and actually I'm probably gonna be another mystery book after that we didn't even talk about at the beginning of the campaign. So the value of that tier is gone up significantly. I mean, it's at least a $300 value right now at $200. So you guys are getting your money's worth. There have been 29 people that have backed that. We're trying to get to 60. If we get to 60, we're going to give away that piece that Jason Bascom did for the campaign. Rick Saylor's got the original art for that. He's going to raffle it off to the 60 backers if we get there, and somebody's going to walk away with that and put that on their wall. So yeah, best value, best bang for your buck. I know it's kind of expensive tier, but man, you get so much with that, almost to the point where I kind of screwed myself. I'm actually maybe losing money on that tier when it's all said and done. Yeah, Tarks9, he knows what's up. He said back to Destroyer tier and also back to Dale cover. Well, I appreciate that, man. Even though the Dale cover came with the Destroyer tier, but if you wanted 2 covers, then by all means, that's awesome. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, when to rip the cover off and hang that up, and
yeah, there you go. I mean, who knows? I mean, I've been having people saying they want that sketch to be a cover too, as like a sketch cover. So that might be something we throw down the line on there as well. And then if we do, that goes in the Destroyer tier. So, you know, the amount of books that you're getting in that tier are going to be quite a bit, and then everything else that we're doing, you know. So yeah, it's definitely worth the investment. To the point where if I do this again in the second campaign, I might have to up the price of that tier if I'm going to do the same thing.
Probably. But hey, man, you know, I feel the excitement of the campaign and what you're putting out there, and you know, I think it's just so great. You know, it's funny. On the cover of this video, I put Superior Joe.
I saw that. Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, check that out."
It sounds like something like a character from Escape from New York or something.
There you go. I like it. Leandra said, "Fan art is the highest form of complimentary praise. I am coining that shit, and you, my friend, have many of them." Yeah, thank you, man. It is very, very complimentary for sure. I appreciate it.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like my book has been in development too long, but I already have a lot of fan art. I'm going to probably put a page or 2 in the book, but maybe I'll do more than that, because I have people coming to me like, "Oh, I'll do a pinup. Oh, I'll do a cover. Oh, I'll do, you know, this or that and the other thing."
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's more like, because you know, I have a artist for the first issue, but I'm going to be doing the writing, the penciling, the inking, the coloring of every issue from 2 on.
Yeah, that's a heavy task. And
you know, I got it in my head that I only want to do 1 cover. So if anybody does art, then it's prints, and you know,
right.
But we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, it's always funny because, like,
myself.
I was just gonna say it's always interesting because I was only going to do 2 covers originally. I was going to do my cover and then the variant cover. And I knew that I was going to be doing the Dale cover from the beginning because I've been talking to him a while about it. But I also knew that he was really busy and had a bunch of other stuff he was doing. So timing wise, it didn't work out that his cover was available for the launch of the campaign, which is why I made a mystery book there. I made 2 mystery books in the Destroyer tier because I want to let people know, hey, there will be 2 other books coming to this campaign that are not available right now, but will become available. Because I knew that once Dale got that cover done, it was going to go up on the campaign. So when he didn't have it done in time for the first 30 days, I was just like, let's make it for the second 30 days. You know, it gives you more time to do what you have to do because he was, you know, highly in demand. So that knocked. So with that done, I ended up making Shelby's cover the original variant for the campaign, because that was originally going to be the metal trading card that everybody got with the top 100 backers. But when people saw that cover, everybody loved it and was like, is this going to be a cover? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's make it a cover. So he was the original variant cover. I knew Dale's was coming down the line. And I was in talks with another artist too for a possible cover. And then, well, yeah, I won't go into that just yet. But yeah, you know, so it just kind of organically goes, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you're like, oh, I'm just going to do 1 cover. I'm going to do 2 covers, but then something falls in place and something else falls in place. And you're like, oh, shoot. I'm like that's got to be a cover, you know, like you got to put it out there. So it is what it is. You know, some people might not like extra covers being added as a campaign goes, but you can't please everybody, you know? So, You just do what you can.
It's
You
impossible.
do what you can.
Yep,
absolutely.
I wanted to make sure we mention that you're doing commissions. You got commissions open.
Yeah. So for a long time I wasn't taking commissions, but now for various reasons that I'll talk about at a later date, I've got some free time to do some commissions. So I opened those up for a short period of time. I've already got a lot of people come through. We've got some deals in place to do some covers and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to close the cover pinup aspect of the commission list, but I'm going to leave open the headshots, like headshots and busts, for a little while longer because those are faster for me to get done. But I'm thinking about like maybe every few months open up the commission list for a short period of time because I'm working full time on Reaper Destroyer. That's my main focus, and I want to make sure I'm spending a lot of time doing that. But at the same time, like I'm also now taking commissions to work with people, and it's been fun. Like the people I've talked to so far about doing some work for it sounds fun. I can't wait to get into doing that as well. So yeah, it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be busy. Busy rest of the year for sure.
I would hire you, but I want the book done faster.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, I'm working on a way to start. I'm working on doing something that's going to get the book faster in people's hands for sure. And now we'll talk about that at another date, but another time. But
yeah,
putting things in motion, putting plans in motion, everyone.
Excellent. So we're almost at an hour, and I want to thank everybody who showed up in the chat and dropping comments, and because it's like I usually do something and I'm kind of focused, so I'm not displaying everybody's comments, but I do appreciate everyone who shows up and comment. I'll make sure to read them after the show, but yeah, it's I once had a co-host, and maybe I will again at some point. It definitely makes my life easier if I could just chat and work and don't have to look up.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna be drawing and doing a stream, having somebody on there helps out tremendously. I've done a couple draw streams, well, more than a couple on my channel with just myself, and it's cool, but I end up taking like a piece that should take me like no longer than an hour, and I spend like 2.5 hours streaming, just because you're constantly talking with the chat because you want to talk with the chat, you want to interact, but at the same time, you're not getting as much work done. And I envy the guys that can really just draw and handle that kind of conversation and not lose time drawing, and still hit like most of the chat for sure. But having another person on here to keep you company to while you're drawing is fun, and just handle the chat, have that good conversation going. It's almost the same thing as like I was saying, listening to music and allowing you to draw. It just flows easy for sure.
Yeah, and your buddy Sean, my apprentice. I mean,
yeah, he's well. How does he put it? He was a ghost inker of the ghost inker, the ghost inker of the ghost inker. So technically, he considers himself a professional for the last almost 30 years or 25 years or something like that. So
hilarious. Yeah, back when I was making real money in comics, I could hire assistants, and I don't know. I guess I had 5. It was something I didn't want to do because I'm so precious and
right,
like down to the last detail. It's like I don't want somebody else filling in my blacks. I don't want somebody else making borders. I don't want it's like exactly. I want to do everything. Yep. I want every line to be mine. But I gave that up, and because a fucking monthly schedule is murder.
Oh,
it's like I literally worked the whole month to get the book done, and without a break, jump into the next one. and it's like, oh. So having assistants help for a time.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, hell, it's not a, well, some people might not know it if you don't really pay attention to the industry, but when I started learning of all the assistant work that was done in comics in general, it blew my mind, you know, because when you just read comics, you assume that the person credited did all the work, you know, and there'll be people that aren't credited on the book that helped with backgrounds or did this or did that, you know. And you know, just learning what I learned from Wildstorm and Top Cow, all the background artists that they had, and assistants that they would come in just to get those books out on time. You know, it makes sense. You know, it makes sense if you're trying to pump that stuff out and you want your main guy to be drawing all the crucial stuff and make everything look pretty. And sometimes, you know, the background is important, but you know, that's why you get the, you know, your intern artists be like, here, draw this tree, draw all these trees, you know, like fill the, you know, take this loose layout and fill, you know, fill this in for me. So there's a reason, there's a purpose for it, you know. It's useful, but I do understand what you're saying, like wanting to have everything your own, you know. Pride wise, that's what I would like to. That's what I'd like to do as well. But if someone was to come in and be like, Joe, I will handle all your backgrounds, I'd be like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
You know, what I did like about it, you know, because really, like, it is time consuming. You know, you think and having an assistant would be like, oh, you just give them the work and they get it done, and that's that, and you're ahead of the game. But I put in a lot of time working with everyone that assisted for me. And really, what did they save me? Maybe an hour, a half hour, you know, 45 minutes worth of work.
True.
But, you know, so the main thing I loved about it was working with them, was teaching them things, was like, this is how you do clean work as opposed to this sloppy ass work you've been doing. Right. You know, whatever you needed to improve on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's always great to see them, you know, then go on to do better things and so forth too. You know, but like I started in this industry as an assistant, you know, like the first thing I did, you know, I told you on your, you know, when I was on art and stuff, you know, like my brother asked me if I wanted to make some extra money. Me, him, and a couple other guys went up to Marvel and we helped out Mark Texiera on an issue of Ghost Rider. So initially I was just filling in blacks for Mark. Then I started, you know, working for my brother, you know, filling in blacks until I worked into inking backgrounds and doing things. And I worked for a couple of other inkers and eventually, you know, really just started doing my own work because that's how I got better. You know, just the more you do, the better you get. But also working with a wide range of people and learning specific things from each person, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, back in the day, that's what I kind of envy of some of the artists and people that came up back in the day that got to have that hands-on learning experience with being someone's assistant, you know, and starting at the bottom, working their way up, and just, you know, being handed off a job, be like, hey, do this, do that, you know, and then getting the correction, getting the hands-on teaching from the pro that you were working with, you know. Like, I think that there was a hell of a benefit to that as becoming your own artist, your own inker, your own colorist, whatever, and then having your own career. Now, you know, guys like me, you know, we learn how to draw on our own and kind of, you know, get in books, get in videos, whatever we can do to learn how to draw. But you don't have that seasoned veteran, you know, really helping you along the way with, you know, consistent work. So I do wish that there was opportunities to have that today. But at the same point too, it's like, you know, to be 40 years old and working on your own book and having the freedom to do what you want, you know, in my situation is also something you know, I could never give up, you know, like I have no desire right now to work for anybody, you know, not only just the mainstream industry, but just I don't have a desire to work for anybody. Like I want to work on my own stuff, you know, like commissions aside,
Yeah.
doing stuff for, you know, covers and what that's completely different. But like there's something about working on your own character that is completely exciting and freeing, you know, like I just don't have the desire to draw anybody else's character in their book, you know, like for me it's Reaper Destroyer or whoever else I create. That's the exciting part for me when it comes to comic books, comic book creating, comic book art.
Right. Yeah. You know, I think that there is opportunity if you want to learn from somebody. I mean, there's it seems like there's so many artists out there that are offering courses and even like private streams with people. You know, I know like Richard Friend does one-on-one
True. If you're subscribed
things.
to, yep, for sure.
So
That's a good point.
there is stuff out there, like, you know, but yeah, it's to me, it's always about passing on your knowledge to the next generation. And you know, it's like I've always had dreams. If I was a billionaire, um, I'd make, you know, like a 5-story building and just have people come and do their own thing, but also like show them like this is how you do that, but you do it better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean that I love that kind of stuff because the fastest way I learn is one watching somebody else do it. You know, like I'm a visual learner, so watching somebody else draw is very beneficial for me. And then two, just having somebody, you know, like for instance, some of the phone calls I've had with Matt Bat Banning is being able to sit down and be like, hey, so that panel I did on this page, you know, where I drew this like this. What do you think about that? You know, like, is there anything I could do, you know, to improve upon how I did the lighting on that or how I did, you know, some of the rendering, you know, and just get his honest feel on what he's thinking of the piece or, you know, like all this kind of stuff. And it's been it's been very helpful as, you know, learning as an artist. Like, I feel like I've improved since I've been working with those guys. Just based on some of the stuff I've seen them do, some of the conversations I've had with them about certain things, and maybe how to improve this a little bit better, you know. So, uh, yeah, I think it's incredibly beneficial to actually have one-on-one interaction with people, even if it is just in a conversation form. And you're right. I mean, there's people I think are very good at doing that and reaching out, especially in the Comicsgate community and you know, now that they're streaming, like you said, Richard Friend, I know he has that course through the Patreon that he can, you know,
Yeah.
takes on looking at people's art and, you know, helping out with certain things and teaching and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's true. That is out there. But I was talking more or less just like, you know, the in studio old school days, you know,
Yeah.
that I always wanted to be a
Yeah.
part of as a kid. Like that's what I wanted to do when I was younger. I wanted to be in the bullpen at some place, you know.
uh yeah, well, I was in the bullpen, but that's not really meant for art. That's production. I was only there because they needed a page inked right away.
Right, yeah.
But my best studio experience, and I've been to a couple of studios, but was at Valiant, where they had everybody working on the floor. You know, so you had your pencilers, you had your inkers, you had your colorists, the writers were there, the editors were there, production, everybody, letters, and
Nice.
it was the best experience. I was there 10 months or whatever it was. The only reason I left, and I left, they didn't kick me out, is because I wanted to ink pages, and you know,
Yeah.
Bob Layton was like, "Oh, you're inking backgrounds." I was like, "Okay, bye."
Yep. No, I feel you on that for sure. You can't stay at a place that's not going to allow you to grow at some point, you know? Like it's no one ever has an issue coming in starting where you start out with, but if you're never going to be given the opportunity to go any higher than that, then you got to try to find some other place that's going to let you grow, especially in an industry like that, you know. You can only go so far with getting paid to do backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like I got a weekly check. You know, it was a very different structure to their company, and it was only the Bob Layton, you know, when he was in charge. It got bought out and changed so many times after that. But it was like I got a weekly paycheck for whatever work I got done. You know, I worked there 5 days a week, 9 to 5. It was just like a normal job, but they tossed me page after page after page, and I just worked there constantly. So it was a good learning experience too, and it was great to be like, you know, I was surrounded by artists. It was freaking great, you know, and I learned so much, and you know, my friendship with Jim Calfury, who while I was at Valiant, I was showing him my crappy inking, which was hopefully getting better.
Right.
You know, and when he had an opportunity to, you know, he already did one issue of Aquaman, but he got another one, and his go-to inker was busy, so he told the editor my name, and you know, I had to convince Calfury that I was good enough by inking some panels. And I was like, okay, you know, I'll do whatever. And the editor was like, it's up to Jim. So it was kind of a weird experience, but I got me the job. But yeah, so, you know, unless you want to keep going or whatever, you know, where can people find you, that sort of thing?
Yeah, you can find me under Joe M. Sontag across the board on social media, or just Joe Sontag. Type that in, you'll find it. I'm primarily on Twitter, although I do have a Facebook and an Instagram, but most of the stuff I do is on Twitter. Joe M. Sontag, and on YouTube, where I do weekly Appreciating Comic Book Art live streams, where we look at comic books and we have guests on and we just talk about art and just appreciate it for the art form that it is, and also look at old books that I hope that nobody ever gets lost to the annals of time, you know, like, because there's so much great old stuff that is so much better than a lot of the new stuff that you're going to get in the mainstream industry. So we really like to focus on that quite a bit. Out and stuff's just now on Friday now. Like we don't do a Wednesday show anymore, just doing Friday shows. So Out and Stuff over on the Out and Stuff channel with Sean Ahrendt. By the way, go check out his book Type 1 and sign up for that now, live on Indiegogo. # don't forget about Sean. And yeah, that's it. Reaper Destroyer, everybody's live on Indiegogo right now. We're in demand. We're inching ever so close to $50,000. Go get the Destroyer tier. It's got everything in it. You back once, you don't have to back again. It's got a $300 value in a $200 package. So best bang for your buck. Yeah, just go back it today. Help support that and get that book as far as we can go. I appreciate everybody that has supported it so far, and a shout out to the continued support by everyone involved in promoting that and everything. So I think that is it.
Yeah, I got a lot of links down below in the video description box, not only for Reaper Destroyer, but for Type 1, for
hell yeah,
Dan's book, Goblin Girl.
Yes.
Black Rose, B Rose. His link is down there. A bunch of them. Yeah, go check out some great books. Support books you know you love. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
But thank you everybody who showed up in the chat and watched the show live. There was a crowd here, and that makes me happy. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll probably be here briefly at some point tomorrow. but the big day is Saturday, so gearing up for that.
Yes.
So I hope to see everybody Saturday. Please come by.
Hell yeah.
Say hello.
Hell
yeah. But all right, everybody. So have a great night, and always be making comics and art. See you again soon.